Hello there, guys. Welcome back to my channel for my live review of Leicester nil, Chelsea nil. And well, like I say, hello there, guys. How you all doing? Let's see if we get quite a few people watching today. Obviously, the game was quite dead, if we're being totally honest with ourselves. That is, just the God's honest truth. But in my opinion, there's still a lot to talk about. And let's just make it a bit of a chill stream. I'll talk to you what you have to, say in the chat. I'll just give my thoughts on the game, on the entire match day in the Premier League. Obviously, had us finishing third in the end, that had Man City win the title ahead of Liverpool. So there is a lot to talk about. And thank you, Lemon. I am doing very well. Now, let's start it off. Obviously, starting it off by talking about Chelsea. Of course, if you are new here, please do subscribe to my channel. That would be massively appreciated. And of course, also drop a like on this live stream or on this video if you're watching it later on. But yeah, let's start it off with the lineup. And there was quite a few changes in there. I mean, I expected changes. There was no real need for this game. Like we had, there was no real need to win this game, I guess. Of course, you want to finish third because it's also £2 million more in prize money, as in where you finish in the league if we finish third ahead rather than fourth. And, it's also pretty cool to finish as the best team in London, I guess. Pretty good, you always want to be ahead of Spurs. But we didn't actually have to win. So I did expect quite a little bit of rotation because we have played a lot of games recently and a lot of the players played all of those games. So it was today Willy Caballero in goal rather than Kepa for once, a back four of Christensen, who picked up an injury, of course, against Frankfurt. He did make the bench today, but didn't start. So it was Azpilicueta as the centre-back next to David Luiz, Zappacosta as the right-back, and Marcos Alonso as the left-back. A midfield three of Jorginho still stayed in the side. The poor guy. I mean, he runs the most every game anyway, and now he has to play the most games as well. Like, it's ridiculous. The poor guy, and he didn't even get to come off today because Barkley was so bad. Sarri had to take Barkley off. That's as simple as that. I mean, like I say, Barkley was then on the right of the midfield three. Loftus-Cheek started again on the left of the midfield three. Finished the whole game today, didn't he? I'm pretty sure he did. And then a front three of Willian on the left, Pedro on the right, and Higuain up front as Hazard was rested. And it was a pretty dead game. We had a really good chance early on through Ross Barkley, which I didn't see because my stream wasn't working yet. Because I have the zone. If you know what the zone is, but they only showed like a goal zone or whatever you want to call it, basically where they show all the games of the Premier League match day at once, although they didn't actually show Chelsea on it once. I don't know what they were doing. Mainly they were just, who's going to win the title, basically. But they didn't have anything, and I had to watch a stream, and that wasn't great. So, we had that Barkley chance. We had a Ruben Loftus-Cheek header, which he could have done quite a bit better with. Then Higuain had an absolute sitter from a good Alonso cross from a nice bit of play, to create that chance. Alonso crossed it to him. Jorginho, Higuain just outside the 6-yard box. And he tried to go for a finish with left foot. But instead of actually hitting his shot towards goal, he hit it against his other foot, and it just went wide. I mean, that was a ridiculous miss. And Lil Nick, or whatever your name is, Ampadu is injured. Ampadu is not fit. That's why Ampadu isn't playing. That's why he hasn't been in training recently. Like, even when all these returning loanies like Reece James, Trevor Chalobah, and some other guys as well, even when they, came back from loan and trained with the first team a couple of days ago ahead of the Frankfurt game, Ethan Ampadu wasn't training then either. Ethan Ampadu is injured. I'm not exactly sure what his injury is, but he is injured. I don't know anything more than that, but otherwise I would certainly have agreed with you. And I also think that Sarri, because he is the first manager since the Roman Abramovich era that hasn't given a single, youth academy player a full debut. Like, of course, he's played Ampadu quite a bit at the start of the season. He played Cullen Hudson-Odoi a lot. He played Christensen. He played Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who are academy products, but he didn't actually give, a new, basically a new player from the academy a full debut, which I didn't like. He could have done that today. He could have brought George McEachran with him. He did also bring him to Vidi, but then didn't end up playing him away when we played them in the last group game of the Europa League. Could have brought, I don't know, Billy Gilmore, what's his first name? Deshaun Redden. So he could have brought one of those and just brought them on, because why not? Because, like we say, could have just, because it didn't really matter. Jake Mitchell, Spurs drew 2-2 against Everton at home. They were 1-0 up. Then Everton got it to 1-0, took the lead. Actually, Everton did, and then Spurs got it back to 2-0. But I losing track of the game. Chelsea game, back to the Chelsea game. Like I say, Higuain had that chance. Leicester, sorry, also had quite a few chances. There was one really silly moment. They hit us on a break. First, Azpilicueta slipped. Then David Luiz tried to cover for Azpilicueta slipping and ran over. Then Luiz slipped as well. And then they were basically through two players against that goalkeeper in a sense. But then Jamie Vardy, I think, overhit the pass across to Tielemans. And then Tielemans had too tight of an angle to do anything with. And Caballero also read it well. But yeah, what are you on about, Ishak? About Younes and the Hazard thing? We'll have to wait and see. I don't have any information of that sort, but I hope he's right in what he's saying or even what he's hinting. Let's say that. We are not celebrating the flourishing of oil money. We're celebrating the fact that Liverpool again did win the league because we hate Liverpool. So yeah, that. Thank you, Harry. But yeah, what the second half was even more dead, in all honesty. We had a couple of more chances. Pedro had one. Barkley had another one. Yeah, Barkley did have another one. Higuain actually had a decent enough chance in the first half before his big miss where he, had a good strike on the turn, but put it just like a couple of inches wide of the post. And yeah, I mean, the second half was pretty dead. Both teams could have won it. We definitely could have easily scored 2 or 3 goals today, very easily. Leicester probably could have scored 1 or 2, maybe 3 as well. But at the end of the day, the game just felt like an exhibition game, like a preseason game or something. Like, it just didn't feel like, anyone tried. Everyone was tired. That's why I would have hoped for a bit more youth in the game because, well, like I say, it didn't really matter. And the first team weren't really up for it anyway. But at the same time, people like Optimus now saying it was one of the worst performances of the season. Well, you got to think about who we played here. Leicester aren't the Leicester that they were when they almost got relegated, or even they aren't the Leicester that they were last season. Leicester are a really, really good team right now. Ever since Brendan Rodgers took over, they battered Arsenal 3-0. Yes, we don't want to compare ourselves to Arsenal, but we're only 2 points ahead of them. In the league table, Arsenal lost 3-0 there only 2 weeks ago. Leicester took points away from Liverpool. They only just about were beat by Manchester City with a wonder strike by Vincent Kompany. So getting a draw against Leicester, especially away from home, is not a bad result in the slightest. Yes, the performance in the game itself wasn't great, but a draw at Leicester isn't that bad of a result. Like, yes, we need a better striker, and both Willian and Pedro are really wasteful. And, especially Pedro today was really poor. Willian was decent enough, I guess. Don't know what you're talking about, Pulisic. I hope he'll be good. I'm not 100% confident, but I hope he'll be good. Obviously, he said goodbye to Frankfurt, to Dortmund yesterday in their home ground. I think he scored as well, didn't he? I've got that wrong. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see about that. But yeah, like I say, yes, I think we all saw that Pedro disaster class. But like I say, a draw at Leicester isn't that bad of a result. It's as simple as that. It's not that bad. And the fact that Spurs bottled it because Spurs are Spurs, let's not mention it in the Champions League final. The Champions League final has been cancelled because no one wants to see either one of Spurs or Liverpool win that. So, that's just cancelled. No one cares. But yeah, what else did I talk about? Shall we talk about the other games today? Actually, let's run you through because I saw quite a few stats earlier, and I thought might as well talk about that. So the top scorers of Chelsea in the Premier League this season weren't that great. I mean, the top scorers, there was 3 on 22, Aubameyang, Salah, and Mane. They all finished on 22. Aguero finished on 21. Vardy finished on 18, and after that, I don't know. But Hazard for Chelsea finished on 16 goals. Pedro scored 8. Loftus-Cheek scored 6, which is really impressive considering he was out for quite a while, and a number of times as well with his back problems. I didn't play any Premier League games earlier on, and he still got the most amount of goals in the team, which just shows how bad the rest is rather than how good he is. I mean, he is very good, but it still more shows that how bad the others are. And then both Higuain and Morata scored 5 goals. That's that. Kante scored 4. Willian, Barkley, and David Luiz scored 3. Jorginho, Alonso, and Olivier Giroud scored 2. And Rudiger and Azpilicueta each scored 1. I mean, you can talk about Giroud and you can talk about, how great he is and how great other players play. But the guy was with us all season. I don't care that he didn't start that many Premier League games. The guy only scored 2 goals. Not my striker. Sod off. I don't even care. Higuain can sort of as well. And if you have a transfer ban, well, keep him back. Because what else the bloody hell can we do? Another good stat was the assists. Hazard has 15 assists in the league, which is really impressive. He's only the 4th player in Premier League history to have both 15 plus and assists and 15 plus goals in one season. after. Can't remember the others. I think George Best was one of them. No, Eric Cantona was. Can't remember the others. Thierry Henry was one. And then maybe Matt Letizia. But I'm not 100% sure anymore. No, I'm not feeding anything with Jovic propaganda because we have a transfer ban at this moment in time. So I'm not going to talk about fucking Jovic. There's no point. Also, even if we don't have a transfer ban, we're not going to get Jovic. He's way too good for us right now. Way bigger clubs than us want him. Way richer clubs than us want him. You know, let's be serious here. Come on now. Like I say, Hazard has the 15 assists. Willian has 6, which isn't actually that bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not that bad, I guess. Azpilicueta and Barkley both have 5 assists. N'Golo Conte, Marcos Alonso, and Olivier Giroud have 4 assists, which, now, again, decent enough. Pedro not anywhere near there, which a bit depressing. But, you know, that is that. Jorginho, by the way, topped the charts of the Premier League passing, you know, statistic in his first Premier League season ever. You know, completing pretty astonishing, to be honest. 3,118 passes, which is quite ridiculous. Rudiger, David Luiz, and Azpilicueta are also in the top 10 of that statistics. But anyway, you know, what else can we talk about today? The other Premier League games, like I say, Spurs, of course, bottled it. Can't remember who took the lead for them, but Christian Eriksen got a draw back in the end. But as long as they didn't win, you know, and we got a draw or won ourselves, we would have finished third, and that's what we did. So I'm very, very pleased. Let's go to the Premier League results here so we can talk about that. Of course, Man City won 4-1 at Brighton. Brighton actually took the lead. Man City got it back. Then a lovely, lovely free kick goal by Gundogan. And they fully deserve to win the league. You know, won it with 98 points, which is quite ridiculous, in all honesty. Arsenal won at Burnley, which I didn't expect, so fair play. Palace against Bournemouth seemed to have been a crazy game. I didn't see any of that. But Palace won that 5-3. Didn't Batshuayi score 1 or 2? Scored the first 2. Yes, he scored 2. Batshuayi scored 2. Newcastle beat Fulham 4-0 away from home, which is a big, obviously, the now result. Liverpool did actually win, but, you know, of course, City were ahead of them already, so Liverpool missed out, but they did finish the campaign on 97 points, which is the 3rd highest points finish ever. They didn't win the league, which is quite funny. Only Liverpool can manage things like that. Very funny, but they didn't deserve to win. Of course, they scored another offside goal, clear offside goal. But yeah, it's just Liverpool, isn't it? And then Man United, they're just a funny bunch, aren't they? They lost at home 2-0 to bloody Cardiff. What? They're only 9 points ahead of Wolves in the end. And that's only because Wolves got unfortunate against Liverpool today. Otherwise, it would have been 6. Or, well, maybe at least 8, I guess. But that is that. Southampton and Huddersfield ended in a 1-1 draw. Spoke about Spurs already. And then Watford were beat 4-1 at home by West Ham, which also a result I didn't exactly expect. If that thing loads, I can actually see who scored because I didn't actually see that initially. Well, Arnautovic only scored 1. Not enough for FIFA inform, which is a bit depressing. But yeah, obviously the final Premier League standings, like I say, Manchester City finished at 98 points. Second highest ever, you know, points finish after themselves last season. Liverpool second on 97 points. And then Chelsea in 3rd. Best team in London in the Premier League. London is blue. London remains blue. Don't care about the Spurs are in the Champions League final. And we'll just beat Arsenal in the Europa League final, so that is that sorted. But yeah, we finished 3rd on 72 points, which is obviously quite a way behind Manchester City. Obviously, 26 points. Last season, I'm pretty sure we finished the season 30 points behind Man City. So we got a bit better. They got a bit worse, I guess. Pretty much the same. But we got top 4 this time, so it is a lot better in that sense. Tottenham finished 4th on 71 points, 1 point behind us. Arsenal 5th, 2 points behind us on 70 points. And then Man United 6th on 66 points. And that just a bit dog shit. I mean, Ole's at the wheel. Ole's at the wheel. I don't know what Ole's doing at the wheel because he's clearly not a great driver. No, I'm not going to give him stick. They have a tough job there. They have a tough job there, in all honesty. They just gave the likes of Mourinho a bit too much grief, in my opinion. But yeah, guys, I didn't really care about that game today all that much. I mean, it would have been lovely to win. It would have been lovely, you know, if erst Stefan, was ist mit dir? Das passt aber mein Kappel nicht, hey? Was redest du so geschworen nachher? So that was a bit of German. Yeah, that is a mate in my chat. If you want to slate him and like slag him off a bit, do that. Have fun with that. What was I going to say? I can't even remember, ladies and gentlemen, because Mr. Steve put me off, the little shit. Where was I? Can't remember where I was. Oh yeah, I didn't really care about the game. It would have been nice to win of course, it would have been nice for, say, Hazard to score another goal as is in his last Premier League game for Chelsea, most likely. And someone mentioned N'Golo Conte. Yes, we all hope that he will be fit for the final. We don't know yet for sure. I don't care whether Ole let their youth play. I mean, Chelsea fans always want the youth to play even in the big games, because they complain about bad results. But anyway, it is what it is. Thank you, Lamin. I agree. Lamin JB Jame. Didn't I say your name last time around? Striker, please, for God's sake. Yeah, pretty much. But Christy, only possible if we don't have a transfer ban, because I don't think Tammy Abraham or Michy Batshuayi will be significant improvements over Higuain or Olivier Giroud, in my opinion anyway. I mean, Tammy Abraham could still improve, of course, quite drastically because he is young. And Fatima is cool. Just check the last video I did on that channel. I explained everything there. I can't be asked to explain it every other video. Why I'm not there anymore, it's all good. Anyway, but yeah, I need to say 10-year contract. Well, we'll wait and see what happens to that. To New England on Thursday for a friendly. That friendly is so stupid. I love the idea behind it. And of course, it's against anti-Semitism and racism in general, and it's a very good cause. But once we qualified for the Europa, we shouldn't have even set anything between the last Premier League game and the Europa League final. That should not have happened. Like, what the hell are we doing? Excuse me, but how can you set that? That is quite frankly ridiculous. What is that? Laurenz, do you really think Chelsea can't pull Jovic? If we can't attract a young up-and-coming striker, then what type of player can Chelsea attract? I mean, he'd get an automatic starter status. No, I don't think we can attract him, because young up-and-coming isn't really that, because he plays for Eintracht Frankfurt, who are fourth in the Bundesliga and made Europa League semi-final. It's not like he's playing for, I don't know, Rangers or Fulham or something. Do you know what I mean? It's not like when Ryan Sessegnon was at Fulham last season and they got promoted and stuff, and he might have moved on to a bigger club. No, he's already a pretty decent, big club. Look at their atmosphere and then look at Chelsea. That's not what it's all about. Big club, of course not. But still, and then if Real Madrid want him, if Barcelona want him, if whoever else want him, we'll have to wait and see who does want him. And then I just don't think we can outpay them. I just don't think we can out attract them, for him to, join us over them. I agree, Harry. That's what we need to do. What did Ishak say? Higuain thinks he's playing for Chelsea later. All right, that is a good joke. Fair play. Bloody hell, lads. Come on now. I don't know why you're so interested in that, Mr. Sporty Steve, whether I'm in a relationship or not. Who's too negative? I'm not negative. I'm being very positive. Yeah. I mean, how exactly we finished third, I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know. It didn't feel like a season where we should have finished third. But we did finish third in the end. It wasn't as bad, as sometimes it felt for us, I think. We made the League Cup final, only lost our penalties, which is a lottery, which was a good performance in that final. So it's not like we got battered. It's not like, yes, we lost 6-0 to City in the league. It's not like we lost the final 6-0. So we could just as much have won the League Cup final, and we're also in the Europa League final, which we can very well win. So even if we don't win the Europa League final, in my opinion, it's a good season. If we win it, it's a very good season, because we made top four and won a cup and won a big cup, not even just the League Cup, but a European trophy. Even if it's on the, on the smaller European trophy, it's still pretty good. Signing Bruno Fernandes is not the worst shout I've heard, to be honest. Yeah, like I just said, I don't think it was all that bad of a season. I mean, come on, guys, type a bit slower. Can't follow up. Do you see us winning the league in the next 5 years? I mean, that just depends on how much we're going to end up spending. I mean, if we end up spending like we have in the last 2 or 3 years, probably not. If we start spending a bit bigger again, then very much so. Why not? Well, it's a bit easy to say Hazard doesn't want to play with average players. It's not that simple now, is it? Like, he wants to go to Real Madrid. Half of their squad is bloody average. I mean, look at it. There's bloody Gareth Bale. He's dog shit. Fucking Spurs. But yeah, let's mention a few more questions of you guys. Oh no, someone said, which loanists would I bring back? Well, not too many of them. A few, but not too many of them. I would certainly bring back Tammy Abraham. I'm going to start, with attackers. Not necessarily as a starter, but I would certainly bring him back. And then if we don't keep both of Giroud and Batshuayi and Higuain. We could get Batshuayi as well, and then get rid of one of Higuain and Giroud, and just keep the other one basically, and then have 3 strikers. Because I really think that we need 3 strikers. I don't think that we need 2. Like, having 2 strikers in the squad is just not enough. You have 1 injury, and then you're basically fucked. And I just don't like it at all. And we can't bring Morata back, sir, because Morata is out on an 18-month loan, and we can't. Well, I mean, I guess in theory, we could cut it short. But I'm pretty convinced that Morata wouldn't want his loan to be cut short, and he would have to agree for that to work. Mason Mount, I would rather him have another loan in the Premier League if he gets promoted with Derby, most certainly. But if he doesn't, if they don't get promoted, which obviously doesn't look that great after they lost their first leg of the the playoff semi-final. If they don't get promoted, I mean, try him out in pre-season, and then we'll just have to wait and see. Because yes, I think it's good, and I think he should replace Barkley in the side, like in our squads. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about Mason Mount. I really, really like him, but I don't know. I think he could do with a bit more Premier League experience. And also, it's not a position where we have desperate need for a player, because we have Loftus-Cheek there, who is a deal start. Of course, you want a backup as well, but I also want Mason Mount to play every week. And if I can give him that at a Premier League club and then bring him back the season after, that's better for me. For example, with Reece James, I want him to come back because Azpilicueta is good, but not perfectly suited for Sarri's system. So Reece James kind of is not in desperate. We're not in desperate need for him, but you know, we are kind of in need for him. Let me just turn my phone and like do not disturb. Sorry for that. About that. And then left back. Well, I mean, I guess Jay Da Silva maybe. In all honesty, I'm going to admit it. I haven't seen enough of Jay Da Silva to judge whether he's good enough to play for us. I need to do a bit more research on that, on him, and you know, a lot of that. Higuain should go. Well, just have to wait and see, mate. If we have a transfer ban, I would totally understand it if we kept him, just from the club's perspective. And Zuma is most certainly the last one that, in my opinion, should come back. Of course, Gary Cahill is leaving. David Luiz just signed a new contract, 2-year contract, which I was very surprised by, because we obviously broke our own internal rule of only giving out 1-year contracts to 30-plus-year-olds. But yeah, we did give him a 2-year contract until 2020, and I think it's important that we kept him. But I think bringing Zuma back would be a really good, you know, so just reading it. It would be a really good option to bring Zuma back. Like I say, we dropped 14 points in the last 10 games and climbed from sixth to third. To drop 14 points from 16 in those 10 games. Might very well be true. I didn't know the exact stats. I'd rather use Michi and Abraham instead of Higuain and Giroud. Well, it's a bit of a risky move, mate, because you know, if you think back to Michi Batshuayi starting at Crystal Palace when when Morata was injured, Conte's second season, when Batshuayi got started at Palace for us, I was like, don't ever start him again. I mean, bloody pisses me off. And yeah, Chilwell is a decent shout for a left back. Alex Telles for sure. Atal, haven't seen enough of him to judge him, in all honesty. I know that he's actually a right back, but can play on the left as well. And for some reason, FIFA has a left mid in form, which I don't like already. And thank you, Alfie Brown. Love your videos. I love you too, Alfie. You know, why not? Don't know who you are, but why not? But yeah, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to do one more question. So make it a good one. I'm going to give you a couple of moments to think of a question, to type it out, and then I'm going to answer one of them. But yeah, of course, like I said in the beginning, if you are new here, there's still 143 people watching. So first of all, thank you for watching. But please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would massively appreciate that. Drop a like on this video, on this live stream, if you're enjoying it. If you did enjoy it, you know, all of you 141 people watching now, please drop a like right now. I would massively appreciate that. Come on then. It doesn't harm you. It doesn't take long. It's not a lot of work. Please drop a like. That'd be great. But yeah, also, once this live stream has turned into a video, leave me all of your thoughts on the game, on the last Premier League match day, on Chelsea finishing third, on Man City winning the title over Liverpool, which I'm very, very pleased about. Sod Liverpool, except in the Champions League final. Please win that. Please win that, because can't be having Spurs, you know, win that. Thank you, Mr. Cat. Appreciate the kind words. Love the videos. Finishing ahead of Spurs is just the best. Agreed. Who to back up? Loftus-Cheek. Fair point. Maybe there should be Mason Mount. But obviously we have Ross Barkley there. Let's see with Kovacic. Apparently we can sign him according to some Spanish out there some Spanish journalists, even with the transfer ban, because he was registered before. It's a bit tricky there. But yeah, so where's the... Well, you're wrong here, mate, if you want to apply for a Chelsea TV job. Wrong person. So, come on, guys. One more question. Is Hazard the best? I'm not going to use that as the question, but the best what? He's not the best in the world. Most certainly not. Yeah, but I should. All right. Well, I don't live in England, so we'll have to figure that out, don't we? Right, unless Callum can outbeat Pulisic. If Hazard stays, Callum won't get game time because of Pulisic. I mean, Lil Nick does make a point, but at the same time, we'll have to wait and see what Hudson-Odoi does after his injury, because that injury that he does have can affect your career, that it can affect you, performance-wise in the future. Who will bottle the Champions League? I don't think you can talk about bottling anymore once you made it to the final. Like, Liverpool are, of course, more the favourites, but I don't think they're enough, the favourite by enough for, if they lost it, that they would have, that I'd call it bottle it. Yes, Hazard is the best in the Prem. What's the update on Adao? Mate, guys, I'm not talking about transfer rumors. There's no point. We have a transfer ban. All of these transfer rumors are completely made up, because there's no point. Yes, the club might be looking at every, different solutions just in case we aren't banned and we can sign players. Of course, they're still looking at things, but there's no point, in my opinion, talking about it when right now, at this point of the season, at this point right now, we think that basically the stance that we have right now is that we won't be able to sign anyone this summer. So that is a good question. That is what I'm going to make my last question. By career mode and chill, favorite game you've been to this season? And I've thankfully been to quite a few this season. Really had a really enjoyable season. Still going to hope to make my way to Baku. Apparently there's some sort of risk for certain attacks, which isn't great. It's very expensive to fly there. At least I'm not from London, which makes it a bit cheaper. Yes, I need 16 million subs. I agree, mate. But yeah, come back to that question of best game of the season for me. My favorite game. Well, actually, it's a pretty easy one. It's got to be Spurs at home when we beat them in the League Cup semi-final penalties. That was incredible. I mean, I was in the Matthew Arden in the third row, right next to the goal where the penalty shootout took place towards. And that was just incredible. I've never heard Stamford Bridge that loud. The atmosphere was incredible. We won the game. It was great. Yeah, exactly. Ishak, however I pronounce it. But also, Eintracht Frankfurt, the first leg, in Frankfurt, unbelievable. I've never heard anything that loud in my entire life. Whether it's a concert, whether it's a football game, anywhere ever, I've never heard anything that loud. It's ridiculous. I was stood to a guy next to me and I shouted in his ear, basically, and he barely understood a word of what I was saying. It's simply ridiculous. Yes, Mr. Mewi Shamir. Yes, City won the league. And yes, everyone, carefree. Guys, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said earlier, please subscribe, drop a like on this live stream. That'd be massively appreciated. Still only 56 likes. Better than earlier, but there's still quite a lot of you that can still drop a like on TV. Our fans sounded silent against Frankfurt. Yeah, no, but I'm talking about the home, the away game in Frankfurt, and the Frankfurt fans being so ridiculously loud. But yeah, like I say, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, well, Mr. Cat, it's not a great atmosphere for the most part when I've been there. But against Spurs in the League Cup final, it was ridiculous. Like, for the big games, Chelsea, they do pump it up. But yeah, finally, I'm going to actually leave it there now. Subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a like, leave a comment, do all of that good stuff. Thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. I'm going to still be bringing out content until the Europa League final. You will find out, whether I will be going to that game or not. You will find out. Follow me on Twitter to find out about that for sure as well. Follow me on Instagram, both of that. The links to both of them are down in the description. It's last 15 on both of them. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. And I will see you when I see you.